All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our hellacious Thursday afternoon here in the Cyber Group Trading Room and, of course, streaming across Facebook and YouTube alike here with our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Say hellacious. Market dropped off as soon as the market opened up, right? Dropped like a rock, ended up continuing to pull back. So not so great of a day across the market. Great day for us here in the trading room, though. Great to see David, Ken, Michael, David, Cliff, Mark H. Got Taz in the room. I like calling him Taz. Got Gene, Tim. Great to see you guys. Got everyone here on Facebook and YouTube here as well. Keep in mind, guys. We tend to post and record all of our meetings across YouTube. So if you end up missing the live stream, you could always just go back on replay as well. But without further ado, guys, let's hop right into it. Like I said, Dow ended up dropping off big going into the late morning, and of course now kind of beginning to squeeze back up a bit. For right now, though, it's been kind of a weird day in the trading room. I should say great day in terms of profits. But, with that, we've done well on the short side with a couple of stocks, and especially, like I said, going into the late morning, early afternoon. But a lot of cheapies, a lot of these cheap penny stocks, quote unquote, making these big moves. Now, not penny stocks, really, right? They're listed across the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, but they're below $1. So we just have to kind of know our worth with some of these trades. But to begin, recently, I gotta say, a stock that is a familiar name to a few of us here, Party City, still going. PRTY stock we ended up actually shorting going back into mid-March, breaking all-time lows, and from there it had kind of flattened out. We were waiting for a big gap fill opportunity, and so far we've had it. So the Party City trade ended up popping above resistance high of the day at the time, 70 cents, and from there it took off. So a really nice push for a really cheap stock, up 63+% across the day. Right now there's a 180,000 share order on the ask, sitting at 89 cents there, at least the high. So for right now, I wouldn't mind at least throwing Party City just on our watch list. PRTY. I see Ken here in the chat board calling out AYTU. It's a stock from earlier this week that we were following, I believe. We'll get to that one in just a moment. But like I'd said, though, we had a few cheapies making some big moves. It wasn't just PRTY. Another familiar name. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. It's the issue with a lot of these cheap stocks. What goes up comes back down. Check in with Seal. Yep, unfortunately, this one pulled back. The Seal trade, I saw Jerry and Ben end up jumping into this trade a few times for about 4 or 5 cents a pop. Hey, know your worth on a trade like this, right? I'm not looking for 15, 20, 30 plus cents on this trade. If something like Party City can give us that, then hey, God bless, that would be great. But, hey, on a Seal trade like this, to make 4 or 5 cents, even less, to load up on 10, 20,000 shares, it's not what we normally tend to focus on, but if the opportunity arises and there's not much else to look at the time, hey, we'll hop on it. So it was a great call out, guys, and great trade. Unfortunately, though, like I'd said, the top percent gainers, the cheapies like this, the cheap high flyers tend to pull back pretty sharply. And while Party City is maintaining pretty nicely, the Seal trade really kind of pulled back. So right now, I'm not going to put this on our list like I did Party City. All right, Jeff B's calling out OSW in the room, and that was one that Fausto spoke about earlier in the morning, guys, right? OSW is a nice, cheap, slow-moving stock early on. I got to switch to my pre-market settings here. There we go. So OSW, we called this out shortly after the market opened up. We were kind of finding not as much out at the time, but this OSW is moving pretty well. But of course, now Jeff just called it out. I saw Karan call it out earlier going into the afternoon off a new high, and yeah, of course, right now it's still going. So this OSW, definitely going to put to our list. Just tight spread, liquid stock, pretty cheap, not too expensive at the least there, and breaking a new high. And then Ken pointed out UAVS was his star of the day in the chat board. Now, let's focus on UAVS for a split second here, because it goes both ways, right? In the sense of running up early after the market opened up, of course, UAVS was one of the best movers. Tight spread, much like the others I just spoke about, very liquid stock, and it was a great trade. But Ken just wrote in the chat board he went short too, because although it's pretty cheap, it doesn't mean it's impossible to borrow. So, Ken loves shorting a lot of these cheap stocks. He has great experience with it. And with that in mind, Ken, let me ask, when did you end up requesting the shares for this? For the UAVS? My guess is going to be before the big drop, right? Like, we weren't anticipating that type of drop off going into the afternoon. Ken says my usual time, 7 in the morning. So early bird gets the money, early bird gets the shares. So for what goes up comes back down, but damn, this thing ended up coming back down pretty hard, right? Now, with a lot of these stocks, they tend to make these, gaps based off of news of like dilution of shares, common stock offering, direct offering. I didn't see what the news was at the time. And what time was that at? Like 11:55? Yeah, roughly around there. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here right from today. Fiscal year results. There's a whole bunch of crap here. I saw something with their CEO. CEO needs to step down for personal reasons. Uh-oh. All right, so that alone, plus I don't know if it was with dilution of shares. Normally, a lot of these stocks that are up like 50, 100+% going into the day or shortly after the market opens up, a lot of them midday or maybe in pre-market at like 9 a.m. The news comes out, bam, it gets crushed and it kind of flattens out. I guess otherwise we ended up seeing this drop off. Different reason, but same move. For right now, the UAVS, I'm not going to add back to our list at this point, Ken. If you can get the shares to short, that would be the only suggestion at this point. I wouldn't be as keen on trying to, bottom fish. It looks very tempting, but, normally it's not going to make as clean of a pop going into the end of the day. Maybe you get 15 cents on a trade like this, right? But I'd rather find, better opportunities. That OSW looked good. The Party City trade's still looking pretty nice. And like I said, though, guys, aside from that, we did really well, just shorting stocks from the market open. A lot of stocks pulled back with the market. NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Lines, ended up pushing up pretty nicely at first, but then came the drop off, right? Well, from there, we ended up seeing the same with CCL. We ended up seeing the same with AAL, UAL, the airlines as well. Similar type moves. So a lot of good stocks to follow from our side list. I see another call out here in our chat board right now. Jeff saying AR testing 3. So what we'll do, guys, is go from top to bottom, from top percent gainers to losers list as usual. And for any of the others, we'll look to recap pretty quick. Actually, Chap, I should have brought up with the cheapies too. Chap ended up popping early in the afternoon, as you guys can see, over 50 cents. Nice pop at the time. It pulled back to 50, held support pretty nicely there. So the hope would be, of course, for this to break higher going into the close, right? It's done a good job testing support and pushing off it so far. If it ends up pulling back under 50, I'd say the run's done. But, it's moved off of the level pretty well, and hopefully it ends up breaking higher. So, this Chap trade I'll put to our list. I got chapped lips right now. Jeez, keep it going. Let's see what else we have. THMO, crazy stock, ended up running up off of kind of good volume at first, and then from there died off pretty quick. Ended up gapping up tremendously up towards 13, pulled back, and just kind of all over the place this trade. So hey, is it easy to pick up 30 or 40 cents on this? I'm sure it honestly wouldn't be too difficult given the spread and the liquidity on the book, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be an easy 40 to 50 cents in the sense of trend, in the sense of momentum, consistent volume. So in terms of the range, perhaps, but pretty difficult trade otherwise. All right, Party City, we got TT. We'll keep going down the list. TTI, I should say. Another cheapie. I'll show you guys this. Ready? Just go to the price section right here. Look at how many stocks are on the percent gainers list that are below $1 or near $1. QEP, 102. It's pushing back over the level. This actually appeals to me, believe it or not. Seeing this break below $1, and it's had a tough time maintaining a strong pop. And for right now, this would be the point in time where I'd say, you know what, didn't break lower here, so it may as well just look to break higher. I'm going to come back to this trade, QEP. It's a nice level 1 trade, if anything. Very low risk off $1. Yeah, otherwise, though, a bunch of garbage near the top of the list. Normally, I say that for the top of the losers list, if anything. This LORL trade, kind of low volume at this point in the day. Crazy pop earlier. The OSW we already caught. Of course, this one, our number 1 pick, I think. All right, here's AR. AR at 3. Yep, good call. I like it. I mean, I figured it was going to be a good call coming from Jeff, but I wanted to go through the others first. AR, great stock to follow. Very similar trend to what we had just showed on OSW. Big iceberg there at 301. Not even at 3, Jeff. Look at 301. So keep that one in mind. Yeah, AR. All right, MRKR, nope. E. So Fausto call out LPI earlier. It was a great call out at the time, and it's kind of pushing back up right now. Similar move to QEP. LPI, I'll put this on the side. All right. Here's a familiar name, SM. SM did really well earlier this morning, did very well yesterday, looking to fill the gap on the way up, and it did so actually, and some. I think the low here was what, 377. Of course, it popped up towards 425 high the day today. So, the stock's trading a lot of volume at this point in the afternoon still, about 41,000 shares per minute. With that in mind, it also is shortable. So if it ends up pulling back a bit more and breaking through support, I'd say it would be a good opportunity that way, if anything. Nah, it's funny. I saw a post here on YouTube right now. One of our YouTube watchers here saying SM thinking a final push going into the afternoon. Well, hey, common motto that I say, and all of our students in our trading room know this. If it's not breaking higher, there's only one other way it's going to go, right? So it's pretty range bound right now in a channel, so to say. We'll look to see what could happen if it could end up breaking through maybe like 380, 10,000 share order on the bid. Otherwise, if it ends up reapproaching 4 and cracking through 4, I'd say you might have a better breakout on the way up going into the close. So what, this one I'll add to our list here. All right. Not so much else otherwise here. Let's see, CREX. This was a bad call out at the time. Well, good call out at the time, went the other way, I should say. 305, there was a big iceberg order, and it was pushing up to 310. Made a nice pop, but then it slammed right back down, though. I took a 7-cent loss, and since it was just, pretty flat. Man, my scanners are jumping all over me right now. They tend to reload. RIG was the last one from the gainer side I wanted to check in with. RIG up to 130, maybe. Pushing up pretty nicely. Man, look at the volume on the order book, though. It has a ton of volume to cut through. It's a pretty heavy volume stock. Definitely level 1. So I'll put this on our side. All right, so let's hop over to the losers list, see if there's anything over here. A lot of stuff normally hard to borrow, but we got a lot that actually is shortable. ONDK, very flat. Going to pass on that right away. PVAC, kind of same ordeal, little squeeze up just before. OLN, same thing. It looks like this one's kind of slowly trending down. Almost too slow for my blood here, but kind of thin order book. So hopefully there's a bigger move to come on this trade. You know what? I'll add this to our list. OLN. All of the ones so far, I guess I'll put this one on. I liked the DBD trade earlier, and it just broke a new low before. So DBD could still be in contention here. I just want to go through a couple of others. MIK, Michaels, still near the lows, kind of flat too. Yeah, Home. All right. I don't see much else, guys. No real familiar names otherwise. Stocks that are shortable, kind of low volume. You know what? Here, do something really quick. Do that. All right, so let me take a look at the chat board right now. KTOV I see here from Jerry. And again, also for anyone on YouTube and Facebook here, if you guys have any picks that you would want me to look at least, let me know. So KTOV from Jerry popped up earlier, pulled back. Not going to put this on the list just yet. UAVS waking up, says Craig. So again, a small little push up. Again, our little 15-cent push up so far in this trade. It's going up to 150 pretty nicely. The range on this I am a fan of. Normally when I see a big gap down after a halt, it tends to exhaust itself out. So normally it doesn't tend to make like the big move up that we're hoping for it to make normally. But I like the range on UAVS, that's for sure. AYTU, says Ken. If there's any one of those, I'd probably put the UAVS on the list. AYTU popped earlier. Great call out at the time. Again, though, fizzled out pretty quick. Popping now a little bit, kind of similar to what we were just talking about on UAVS. APDN, same thing. I guess they popped at the same time. All right, let me see from my other scanner here, guys. I have G-Sky. We'll take a look at a couple here. GSKY, nope, not doing too much there. AYTU, I have AA Alcoa Corp. Nope, pretty slow. UAVS is on the top of my momentum scan. The OSW is number 2. That one is already on our list. MTDR Matador. This one was a good call out from Ben earlier. That's right. It's not on the gainers list. It's not up enough, I guess, to be on the top. But yeah, MTDR I like. I'll add this to our list here. Shortable from TradeStation. It's been pulling back pretty nicely off of 8. All right. Let's see what else. We got Rich in YouTube here saying AR through 3. Yep, that one's already on our list. It looks like we got big old spike of volume. Yeah, right at 238. Let's see, anything big? Oh, right here. Yep, all through 3. Look at all of the prints at 3. That's what I was looking for there on that spike. INO looking interesting at 1220 support. Let's take a look on that one. Yeah, but we're not looking to try and catch the falling knife, though. You know, I was calling out INO at 1250 earlier, and it did a pretty good job at holding over the level off the break, but then the push through. 12 is the major support to watch here on this trade, if anything. So that would be the more interesting spot to follow as far as a potential buy. 1250, like I said, I was calling out before for the same reason. It held over it for a moment, but then it tanked under it. So 12 is the next one to look at there. But for right now, INO, I'm not going to focus on. Let's see. If we were able to short INO, I would have been all over this today. Let me say that. From Michael, APA moving back up, tradable stock. That's going to be my comment on APA and Oxy. And much like the casinos and the airlines, all the oil stocks like these, tradable. I love following them. So if you did well on it, then right away I'd focus on it going into the afternoon. APA, we did pretty well on this trade earlier today. I'd say the same also with NAT. NAT on the way down to $6 support, pretty strong level from yesterday. Great tradable stock. BORR, BORR, that is a familiar name. That's been on the gainer side for a couple of days on and off over the last week or two. Yeah, not really too appealing right now. They ran up nicely earlier. All right, guys. I think that just about does it, though. Look, we're not going to force any stocks on our watch list. We're not going to force any call-outs out here on the chat board, you know. So at this point, if the market's slow, there's not much moving, wait till 3:30. It's kind of a nickels and dimes afternoon, it seems like. And I say that literally, too, given the cheap stocks like Party City and, you know, the others that like Chap that made some big pops earlier. Nickels and dimes on this, right? So know your worth, guys, going into the close with all these stocks that we'll be calling out. All right. And again, for anyone on YouTube and Facebook that would like to learn more about what we offer here at Cyber Trading University, the online trading room here and our online course room, feel more than free to call the number down below. Make sure that otherwise you email us right at support@ctutrading.com, and we'll look to reach back out to you as quickly as possible. All right, guys, for all of us here in the trading room, we're going to look to post and tweet the picks. We'll look to make some money together going into this close. Take care.